You two have a very simple task.
I never meant for anyone to get killed. He has to know that.
What are you talking about? Who has to know what?
Snow, he came to see me. He's worried about rebellion in the districts. He thinks that they don't believe our love story.
You know, Katniss, you should have told me that before I went out there and tried to give these people their money.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what to do.
Katniss, what were you thinking?
Please, just help me get through this trip. Please, just help us get through this.
This trip, girl, wake up. This trip doesn't end when you get back home. You never get off this train. You two are mentors now. From now on, your job is to be a distraction, so people forget what the real problems are.
So that's a clip from The Hunger Games, Catching Fire. Delighted to say we could welcome back to the programme Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer, hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
It's very good to have you on the show. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Remind us where we are then for the beginning of Catching Fire. We spoke to you for Hunger Games. Remind us where we are for the beginning of this one.
At the beginning of Catching Fire, we're right. Katniss has just won the Hunger Games, and she's living in Victor Village, and she's feeling kind of estranged from District 12 because everybody's kind of, treating her differently, and she's kind of trying to find her footing and her way. She's suffering from post-traumatic stress, and then she finds out she has to go back into the games.
Yeah. Victor Village is a bit of a misnomer, isn't it? Because it looks like the most rubbish place to live yet imagined.
Victor Village? No, Victor Village is the mansions.
Yeah, but it looks
amidst the rubble.
Yeah, right.
That's what makes it worse.
Yeah, it looks pretty desolate, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking over at everybody else living in, nothing.
So when we spoke to you last time, you were talking about how Katniss is falling out of trees and is very clumsy. She seems far less clumsy now. I suppose she's had to learn on the job, kind of really, but she's less clumsy now, isn't she?
I think it was probably me that was clumsy, not Katniss. Yes, and this is, these Hunger Games are much more intense. Everybody that's in these games, they've all won before, so it's kind of the all-stars. So this is definitely time to bring your A game, not be as clumsy.
Okay, so why has that happened? Just explain why this is the Hunger Games, but everyone there is the champion. What's happened there?
What's happened is, so it's a 75th year for the Hunger Games, which means there's a quarter quell. So they throw a special. Each year, or each 25 years, they do something different. And this year, they've decided that all past victors will be reaped again.
And President Snow turns up this is Donald Sutherland, of course. He's in your house. He's come to the Victor Village.
Yes, he was just sitting in my office. And he is there to tell me that I have to either convince the world that that I did what I did not because of a revolution or not because of rebellion, but because I loved PETA, or a war will start, and he will basically kill everyone I love.
So, and he says it kind of like that as well.
Yeah.
So how vulnerable is he then, Jennifer? How vulnerable is him and his whole regime?
President Snow is not but his regime and his government is very vulnerable because there are more people out of the districts that are unhappy with more unrest than there are in the capital.
Was there a point in the filming that you ever got fed up with being wet, muddy, covered in boils, being attacked by monkeys? I mean, it's a tough film, this.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that scene actually with the monkeys, we were in the swamp for about 7 days, and I was just like, I can't get back in that swamp. No, that one I definitely got fed up with.
And was it an exhausting? I mean, it's an exhausting film to watch for all the good reasons, but I mean, was it an exhausting film to make?
Yes, it was actually, but it's always exciting, and it's also nice to have those kind of scenes because you never have to worry about working out after work.
When you came on for Hunger Games, you said we were talking about the violence in the book and then in the movie and how it is, of course, about kids killing kids, and you said about how each generation becomes desensitizes, and you have to push and push before we finally get entertained. Have you pushed Catching Fire further than you did with Hunger Games?
I wouldn't say that we've pushed it further. I think that the message is getting bigger. I think that we're following. The story goes to a deeper place, to a more intense place where war is brewing. So I think that things are bigger, things are worse. The cruelty of the Capitol gets to an all-time high. But I wouldn't say that that's us, the filmmakers. That's where Suzanne Collins, who wrote the book. I mean, that's where the book is leading.
You have a new director on board for this movie, Francis Lawrence. How did that feel? How did that change the atmosphere on set?
It was really sad to see Gary go because we loved Gary. I totally respected why. You know, he didn't think that he had the right amount of time to be able to give his best, and I completely respect that. But it was sad to see him go. But meeting Francis, he's so nice, and the script was absolute perfection, and Francis is an incredibly talented guy, and we're really lucky to have him. Just on
the actual playing of Katniss Everdeen, Atlantic Monthly, you probably know all these quotes anyway because you have people who'll bring them to you, but Atlantic Monthly...
No, they normally just hide them.
Oh, okay. Well, they won't have hit this one because it said Katniss Everdeen is the most important female character in recent pop cultural history. Okay?
Oh.
Here's one of our listeners, Fran Kilshaw. Can you please thank Jennifer for being a genuine role model to young women by being unashamedly herself, and that I love her, right?
Aww.
Here's the Times of London. This is one of their columnists, Caitlin Moran, at the weekend. For the sake of my 12-year-old daughter, I thank all the gods that exist for the Hunger Games, with the brilliant, wench-assed Jennifer Lawrence surviving in the woods, sticking arrows through asshats, wishbones, and being active and noble. Are you aware of any of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware that people love the movies, and I'm aware of what an incredible role model Katniss is. Hearing it is completely different. That's really amazing to hear.
And does it surprise you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised anytime I find out, like somebody says something nice about me. It's just a huge relief. But it doesn't surprise me as far as the character goes, because I completely agree.
But people have been saying nice things about you for a long time now, Jennifer. You sound as though you're surprised to get a good review. Come on, you're the Oscar-winning. I should have said that at the beginning. Oscar-winning Jennifer Lawrence.
Please don't.
You're a big star. You must be used to this now.
Yeah. Well, I just think everybody's lying.
Seriously?
Well, I don't know. You only let in so much. I'm never going to get to a place where I'm like, oh yeah, untouchable.
Some other, I mentioned Fran's questions, some other listeners' questions here. Ollie Ryder's question: did Jack Nicholson ever call you?
No, he didn't, but he sent me a bottle of Cristal and flowers and a note that said, missing you already.
Gareth Baird says, Jennifer, will you ever jump into Twitter? I think it would cause the internet to melt down, but it would be awesome.
No, I'll never do that. I'm not even against it. That's just not for me. I just would never have time, and I'd always forget, and then I'd be like, what do I have to say that's important? Like, I walked by a dog today, Yeah,
maybe you shouldn't do Twitter.
Yeah.
There was a big story around here at the weekend with TV had pictures of long lines of hopefuls queuing for the new Star Wars film. They had open auditions down in Bristol, and I was trying to recall. Did you ever do an open audition? Did you ever have to do that?
Oh yeah, when I was a teenager and I was first getting started, I went to those all the time with my mom.
Do you remember the first one you went for?
The first one I went for, yes, it was for like a veterinary video that like vets would watch for school or something, and my brother was with me, and he's like, "This sucks."
So okay, and did you get it?
No, I didn't.
Well, and what was the first audition that you actually got?
First audition I actually got was for an MTV promo for that show, Super Sweet 16. I pretended to be, or I was, acting as one of the girls in I don't know, I blew candles out in a disco ball, fell and smashed cake all over my face.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
When Anne Hathaway was on the show, she was saying how she was explaining how she auditioned for Les Mis, and it was the toughest audition, but apparently she did a fantastic audition. I imagine that you don't have, you got an Oscar, you don't have to audition anymore. Would that be right?
Well, I haven't auditioned, but I also haven't really. I don't have any time for anything. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind auditioning. I auditioned for the Hunger Games.
Was that the last movie you auditioned for?
I actually do mind auditioning. I would really like it if I never had to audition again.
Well, I suspect you probably won't have to.
I hope not.
And James McAvoy was telling us about auditioning and so on. You just done. You were in X-Men with him.
Yes.
What was it like working with James? Because he came in to talk about filth. I don't know if you've seen that, but anyway, he was talking about that. What was it like working with James?
Absolutely incredible. I love James. He's one of he's an actor that I really, really admire, not because he's incredibly talented. He's such a good actor. He's so nice. He's so funny, and he loves his family, and he's just such a good guy.
What are you in next, Jennifer? What do we? Because I know you're unbelievably busy and you're in film after film, and some people say, you know, you are working non-stop. But what do we see you in next after Catching Fire?
Well, I'm filming the Mockingjays right now, so I'm finishing out Hunger Games 3 and 4. I filmed American Hustle. That'll be coming out in December. And then after I finish these Hunger Games, I'm really just going to take a big break.
Well, if the other two are as exhausting as the second one, I think no one will begrudge you that. Jennifer Lawrence, we appreciate your time with us. Thank you very much indeed.
No problem. Thank you.